Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is shaping up to be one of the craziest entries in the entire MCU. Now, despite the movie being about 5 or 6 months out as the making of this video, rumors and leaks are everywhere. And today, we are going to go over the ones that I think are most likely. Rumors, leaks, and theories. So you let me know what you think is going to happen in this movie. And sky's the limit with everything we are seeing that's going on in the MCU right now. Welcome to the Chaos Multiverse, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos, make sure you are subscribed with those notifications fully turned on, and that enters you in our PS5 giveaway at 10,000 subs. Somebody that's a member of the Chaos Multiverse wins a new PS5. You can like any video you want, comment on any video, your favorite Marvel character, and your Twitter handle, and you are automatically entered. Now, let's start off with there won't be a main villain. You heard me right. That's a rumor that I can actually buy into. According to insiders, Doctor Strange 2, it won't have a main villain. Well, it won't have one main antagonist. Instead, there's going to be a bunch of multi-dimensional villains that Strange is going to have to go up against. Now, some of these will probably pose more of a threat than others. There's not going to be any one main villain like maybe Loki in the Avengers or the Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, personally, I don't know about this. This may hurt the movie more than it helps it because every Marvel movie deserves a great villain, and we've seen just how much better that a movie can be made with when there's a great bad guy. I mean, it's just how it is. But with that being said, I could also see the other end of the spectrum where people say, you know what, it's time for a change. Let's not have one villain, let's have multiple villains. It's interesting. Next up, the movie starts where Wandavision left off. Now, this is all but confirmed, but Wandavision is basically a direct prequel to Doctor Strange 2. According to a few leaks, the second post-credit scene of the Wandavision finale is right where Doctor Strange 2 will pick up, meaning we'll be starting in Sokovia, which is a pretty interesting choice if you ask me. Sokovia has been a major location in the MCU due to the events of Civil War, so it's going to be cool to go back there now that the Infinity Saga is over. And it's connected to some other stuff, too, that we'll talk about in the future. At number 8, the story will directly tie into Eternals. Eternals is the next big MCU entry. It may be out by the time you watch this video. I don't know, and it's likely going to set the tone for the entire franchise going forward. This is a massive movie. You're talking 10 characters, actually maybe 11 if you count Dane Whitman, who's not going to be the Black Knight in this, but he's eventually going to be the Black Knight. This scope, the scope of this movie is huge. It's going to be a wild ride, and according to multiple insider reports, Doctor Strange 2 is going to directly tie into the movie's story. Now, it won't be a direct sequel or a prequel, but with how much time jumping and universe jumping and cosmos jumping is going on, I think it's going to be a lot of holes in the Eternals that are going to be filled in once we get to Doctor Strange 2. So if you really want to prepare for Doctor Strange, rewatch WandaVision and make sure you go see the Eternals. At number 7, Mordo is kind of the main villain. Now, we just talked about there not being a main villain, and there may not be. But there are rumors suggesting that Mordo is going to be the main bad guy, although he'll be playing a passive role, if that makes any sense. He had a pretty creepy ending at the end of the first Doctor Strange movie, and he's definitely returning in the sequel, but it's unclear how much of a role he'll play. Some reports are saying that he's going to play a major role in unleashing all the other villains, but he himself won't be a major presence. So I guess that would kind of make him the main villain, I guess, antagonist in a way. But then again, other leaks are saying he's going to be the main bad guy, so I guess we're going to have to wait and see. I don't see Mordo being the super, super bad. But then there's also leaks that say he's going to trick Wanda into being a bad guy. So who knows? I think it's unclear what his role is going to be, but I think he's going to be starting a lot of issues. At number 6, let's talk more about Wanda and Mordo. Mordo will manipulate Wanda. Something major is expected to happen between him and the Scarlet Witch. As you probably know, Wanda was left in a pretty weird spot after the end of WandaVision, and she's going to be playing a major role in Doctor Strange 2. However, rumors are saying that Mordo is going to befriend her in order to control her from the background. So it's very possible that Mordo's manipulation is what starts the movie's whole conflict in the first place. Perhaps Mordo uses her power to break open the multiverse and bring all the other villains in. Or maybe Mordo is just trying to use Wanda as a weapon. It's unknown right now exactly what he's going to do, but it's very likely something happens between those two characters, and Mordo tries to get Wanda under his thumb. At number 5, Put your memes down below already. Put your Mephisto memes if you want to. Nightmare will appear. Kind of. Now, Nightmare is a major villain in the Doctor Strange comics, and he's been rumored for a while to appear in this movie, although the details, they're a little sketchy. The original director of the movie, Scott Derrickson, said in multiple interviews that he wanted to bring Nightmare in as a main villain, but after he left the project and Sam Raimi took over the director's chair, talks of the character seemed to stop. Now, according to a few leaks that surfaced not too long ago, Nightmare will kind of appear, but not as a main villain. Instead, either Mordo or Wanda will try to conjure Nightmare, but instead break open the multiverse and bring in a whole lot of other villains that Doctor Strange has to stop. So, will Nightmare appear? I think he will. Will he be the main villain? Probably not, but if I had to guess, Doctor Strange 2 is going to set up Nightmare as a future villain, but I don't think he's going to have a lot of screen time in this one. He's a big baddie. I don't see him being a one and done. At number 4, Wanda will be a villain. Let's elaborate on what we talked about earlier. Wanda is going to start off as an ally to Strange in the movie, allegedly, but it's very likely she could become a villain. As the WandaVision show made super clear, Wanda's not in control of her powers, and she's done some incredible damage to innocent people, so it's very possible that Wanda gets her crap together in this movie and becomes an Avenger again, but it's also very possible that her spiral into madness and chaos magic continues, and she becomes an outright villain, and that would really set things on its head. With that being said, Wanda will accidentally kill Professor X. That's right, an X-Men rumor has been swirling with leaked photos and everything. It's a major one, but I want you to hear me out. We know this is a multiverse story. We know Marvel is trying to figure out how to bring the X-Men into the MCU. We also know that the different movie universes are going to merge. One theory that came out a few months ago is that Wanda will unintentionally kill the Fox's universe, Professor X, which would not only introduce mutants to the MCU, but also officially end the Fox's universe timeline. Now, personally, I don't know if I buy this one. I mean, Professor X already died at the end of Logan back in 2017, so I don't really see this being necessary, unless they mean she's going to kill the young Professor X, like the one we saw in X-Men Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. Then, we could set up this universe as Professor X in a future movie. Basically, the theory is that Wanda will have an outburst that destroys the existing X-Men movie universe and cleans the slate for the mutants to appear in the MCU. She's already dealt with her brother from the Fox universe, right? Do I think it's going to happen? Not really. I think that may be a little too extreme and a little too confusing for the main crowns, but we'll see. At number 2, teenage Charles Xavier will make an appearance. This is a big one. According to various leaks that are out there, Charles Xavier will debut in the MCU as a teenager. Now, the actor is not confirmed yet, but many leakers and insiders have reported that our first glimpse of Charles will be as a stuck-up teenager who then has a huge change of heart once he understands mutant kind and then turns into the man we know and love. Now, Charles is not expected to have a huge appearance in Doctor Strange 2, but I'm pretty confident that he'll appear at least briefly as a setup in the future. I'm super confident that we're going to get the official introduction of mutants in this. I really, really am in multiple ways. I think we're going to see setups for multiple characters in Doctor Strange 2. And finally, the biggest one, it will set up the mutants. Like I said, mutants are not expected to appear in Doctor Strange 2, but they're going to get mentioned at least. Now, according to a series of leaks, Marvel is hard at work figuring out exactly how to bring the mutants into the MCU, and the current plan is, following the events of Infinity War and Endgame, much of humanity has grown to fear and hate superhumans of any kind. So apparently, mutants have been around this entire time, but following Tony Stark's announcement of himself as Iron Man in 2008, secret organizations have been hunting mutants down and containing them, which keeps them out of the public eye. Now that most of the world has changed after Endgame and a lot of these secret organizations have fallen apart following the blip, well, mutants are starting to appear again, and they cause public fear and outrage. This would explain where the mutants have been all this time, and also set things up for the future with Charles Xavier starting his school in a few years. So, are mutants going to appear in Doctor Strange 2? I don't know. Maybe not, but there will be a mention of superpowered people appearing at random. I think so. It might be a throwaway line, maybe a headline on a newspaper, but I'm confident that mutants will be mentioned in one way or another. I think Doctor Strange 2 is going to set up the direction of the MCU going forward, and we all know mutants and the X-Men are going to play a major role in that in the near future. So what better time to set them up than the Multiverse of Madness? And we'll end this with, will Deadpool make a cameo in Doctor Strange 2? I'll let you guys decide in the comments. Hope you have a great day. Give me your best theory, and I'll see you soon.